Right, hello and welcome to
Hello, hello.
the Nash Squared Radio Day. Hope you've enjoyed all the
Mm,
shows so
great.
far, all the co-hosts. I think they've been great. So shout out. This is actually my first out of my 2 hours on radio, Brenna. Do you know that?
Did not know that. Have you already gone or coming up?
No, I'm coming up after this live.
Oh,
Yeah, yeah,
okay.
yeah, yeah,
Wow.
yeah. For the benefit
Pleasure
of
for
everyone.
everybody.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, what's
Back to
better
back to
than
quiche.
yeah, there you go. What's better than 1 hour of me? It's 2 hours.
Oh,
Right.
perfect.
So in terms of, I guess what we're talking about for the next sort of few minutes, and
Yeah.
I guess for this show, um, we are talking about the Nash Squared Cookbook, which
Mm-hmm.
is being released in the next month or so.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Now, just a very quick overview. Obviously, you and I know each other.
Yes, that's true.
I'm sat in London, and you are in
I'm in Texas,
Texas. There we go.
the big
There we
state.
go. The big
Yes.
state, right?
Yes.
So, do you want to start off by just introducing yourself to those
Yeah.
that may not know you?
Yeah.
Kind of who you are, what you do at Nash Squared.
No, I'd love to do that. That's great. So, Brenna Barnett, I sit in the US and remote in Texas. So I look after the marketing for the Harvey Nash US and now Spinks and Spinks on Site in the US, which we've brought over. So that's exciting. And I've been here, it's only been almost 2 years, but it feels like forever because everyone just, there's moves a million miles a minute and makes you feel so welcome. So yeah, but why don't you now intro yourself?
Mm. Also,
There's a
you've only
lot.
there is, but you've only been here 2 years, right?
Yeah, it's crazy.
And I would like to think because me
Okay.
and you met when you were fairly new
I'd probably
into
say first month or second month.
first
Yeah.
month. So I know you have really good relationships with people here in the UK,
Okay.
but I'm probably going to answer this question for you. I think I'm your top pal in the UK, I'd say.
For sure.
Yeah.
For
Yeah,
sure. For
exactly.
sure.
Exactly.
Yeah. If I ever need anything, it goes straight to you.
There we go. There
Yeah.
we go. Right. So my name is Akish. I am I've been with Nash Squared for 6 years now. Feels a hell of a lot longer. But I mean, we've had people like Dave Savage on this on the radio so far. So he beats that. He's been here. I mean, he had brown hair when he joined, and now he's full head of grey. But yeah. So I work out of our financial services business here in London. From a day-to-day perspective, I'm also the co-chair of our global diversity and inclusion council, which is probably one thing that I'm the most kind of excited about. Probably one of the best parts of my job, really, as well as sort of my day-to-day job. So if my MD Andy Hayes is listening, or Rodri, who I report into, don't get me wrong, I still like working with you guys. And I guess, my kind of biggest thing is really to help promote diversity across our group, right?
Yeah.
Now, viewers or listeners, whether you're kind of dialing in or listening in, we talked about the cookbook, right? Um, so big solutions, recruitment business, global firm operating, with thousands of employees across the globe. What the hell are we doing with a cookbook, Brenner? So
No, but it's great that we have it. I
tell
mean,
me.
it's one of those brainchilds of, something that I forgot. And I think, while you also lead the DEI Council as a whole, also we lead together the ethnicity ERG group, the employee resource group, and, came from one of our regular meetings where someone wanted to have, one of our biggest things is to celebrate and educate. And I think, someone was talking about, let's do an event in the London office or one of the offices where cultural backgrounds to bring in different foods, and we learn from and we celebrate. And then it might have been me, even because I'm remote, was like, well, but I want to join, and I'd love to cook. So how can we do it? And somebody, else said, let's do a cookbook. And really, that's what these, employee resource groups do, is just come up with ideas and create action. And we're lucky to have a people team that's super supportive and really been helpful in getting this action. It's taken a lot of muscle and hours to get to here, but with, I think, Akish, maybe I'm like 50 or more recipes globally, it just shows, you know, our diversity, our global reach. And what I like most about the cookbook is that there's nice stories that go along with them, why this recipe is significant. And you know, I know we've alluded to it a little bit, but later in this, we've interviewed some individuals from different parts of the business, and why they chose their recipe and whatnot. But Akeisha, I'd like to know your recipe and why you chose it.
Yeah. So just on that, I mean, even the recipes, right? For those, so Brenna, you and I have we've seen the recipes trickle in over the last few months. We've had to, you know, reach out to our relationships and say, hey, look, you know you're not from, you know, you're very sort of indigenous sort of culture, you know, how about you get involved in this? And firstly, I think a big shout out to sort of people, you know, and our fellow employees and colleagues across the globe that have sent in their recipes for food that takes them back to a point in their life, right? And like you said, we're going to hear some interviews later on by two of our sort of colleagues that you know, sent in their sort of recipes and sort of what that food, that dish, you know, really means to them, and sort of how it's bringing about their sort of cultural heritage or their sort of background. The recipe that I've gone for is drum roll. I don't know if we could do that, but it is a chicken biryani. Now, I obviously my heritage and my background is Pakistani. I class myself as a British Pakistani, and my parents immigrated, as did I actually. I was actually born in Pakistan, so I was about to say my parents immigrated, and I was like, no, I was with them as well.
I was there.
Yeah, I can verify I was there. So so we immigrated 26 years ago to the UK from Pakistan. So my dad sort of tells this story better, you know, how he arrived with a heavily pregnant wife and a young son with 2 suitcases and 200 pounds. But anyway, I'm not going to pretend to be my dad. But basically, my favorite dish growing up was a chicken biryani, to a point where my mum, even when I went to university, when I'd come back home, she would always make that dish because she knew that I loved it. There are still times now, I mean, you know, I live by myself, but when there is biryani cooked, she texts me like a day before when she's marinating the chicken to cook biryani the next day. And she's like, what are you doing tomorrow night? Because I'm making biryani. And then if I ever go back on weekends, I know that, you know, I'm sort of there. And as luck would have it, or her luck would have it, my sister got engaged, and her son-in-law to be, his favorite dish is also biryani. So
this is amazing.
Yeah, so she has, you know, she has 2 hungry young guys, you know, that absolutely devour it. So, and the other thing as well, I mean, my group of friends growing up, we used to hang out at my house quite a lot. I'm massively into cricket as well. And there was one time in particular where I remember the Cricket World Cup. It's like any sort of major sporting event in World Cup. It happens every 4 years. Yeah. I mean, it's yeah. I mean, it's dead to you know, someone in the States. You might not know what cricket is.
We have baseball, slightly similar, but not
similar.
Yeah.
But so basically I was quite young, you know, sort of college days, and college in the UK, not college in the US, by the way. So yeah,
we'll have a side chat about
high school. So high school. Yeah. So so what we did was all the lads, all my mates used to come over to our house. The games used to be in the middle of the night, so they used to start at like 11 p.m, finish at like 6 a.m. And all my friends used to say to my mum was, you know, auntie, can you make biryani. So she used to make biryani at like 9 p.m. at night. So it's fresh for us, and then we used to have it like in the early hours of the morning whilst watching the cricket. So
How did you get any schoolwork done? Because this is
yeah, we didn't
not
really.
important. Got it.
No. Cricket took importance. So
That's fair.
so yeah, so that's why, I mean, even to this day now, I mean, yeah, chicken biryani, like I could have it 3 times a day, no problem.
my
So yeah,
Okay.
I think I love it.
I'm excited that I now have the recipe and can make this as part of my life.
Yeah, no, definitely. And it's a dish, to be shared with friends, with
Okay.
family.
Okay.
It's very communal. It's all in one pot type thing.
Good to know.
And
Good to
normally
know.
you put the pot in the middle of the table, you have a few drinks, the conversations, the laughs, Yeah, it's lovely. So
So lovely.
that's mine. What about
Wow.
yours, Brenna?
Well, I mean, as you were talking through, I was thinking, oh, that sounds like my mom makes chicken and dumplings. It's a Southern thing. Um, it's not my recipe, but that's like my comfort food these days. Mine is shrimp and pasta. It's like a cream sauce, and it's one that my dad would make. And when you're a kid, well, this may not be your experience, it's just me maybe, and you're just stubborn and you're like, that looks different, like there's veins in it. It's just like, I don't know, I'll have chicken tenders. And for probably 10 years, I missed out on one of my favorite meals that my dad would make. And then, having it and just, it's like you miss it so much when you can't have it. And it's something that, I can make it today. But it's never the same, because I'm sure like, even like if you make your mom's, it's never the same without love. And it's one of those things that really taught me that I try to live my life without any fear or regret, or like, I have a saying that I say, if you're worrying, it's just like sitting on a rocking chair. It's something to do, but it's not going to get you anywhere. And so I try to bring that through with everything. So if there's like something in my life going on, I'll just think about shrimp and pasta and think, no, just go for it, jump in, try it. If you don't like it, then you'll figure it out later. But most of the time, you don't know, and you can't, don't make a preconceived notion. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it sounds very much like comfort food, right? It
is.
It's
like you
like,
better have your stretch pants on after you eat it.
Yeah. It seems like one of those ones where, you wanna wear some, tracksuit bottoms, nice warm house, have that.
Yes.
You just want to lie down on the sofa afterwards with the
Lots of
blanket.
butter, cream,
Yeah.
cheese, all the things that we love.
So I know there's a few colleagues of ours that are probably listening to this that are running the marathon in the next month,
Ooh.
the London Marathon. So maybe not for you at this time, but past that, right? So
something to look forward to, though.
yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
So we can do, it's definitely something worth knowing. And like I said, these are just a snapshot, right, of our stories. And
I know.
there's so many great stories that our colleagues have. And I think
and we have two now here.
we do.
Yeah.
We do, as if by magic.
Whoa.
So we are joined by Lisa Kaiser. So I obviously interviewed Lisa Kaiser. Again, I've been talking to a lot of people from my US business. So Jason, if you're listening, US, if you want to put in a request for me, the US people love me.
You gotta come to Tennessee or to New Jersey.
There we go. So Jason, sort it out. No, but yeah. So Lisa spoke about her Colombian background. The sort of the recipe. I won't tell you the name. I'll let you listen to the interview. So yeah, and then who did you speak to?
I met with Clara, who is in our Dublin area, and she is instead of ask Alexa, you ask Clara. That's her remit. That was her big thing, because she's been with business for 10 or more years. And I also won't tell you the recipe, but her story was really emotional and impactful. And she shared the history of it. So not only like the actual history, but also just what it meant to her. And because her background is from Czech, and so it's a really good one to listen to, and she gives some really good insights and some things to take to heart for sure.
No, definitely. So, without further ado, let's listen to our colleagues.
All right. Wonderful. So we are here for Radio Day with Clara, and she I won't introduce her, but she has with a group of our colleagues has submitted recipes for the ethnicity ERG cookbook that is going to be coming out soon. So we're really excited. And for this block of time, we're going to get to talk to some individuals across the business about the recipes they submitted, why they submitted them, and what makes them important. So without further ado, Clara, take it away. Tell us about you, all of the amazing things, and how long you've been at the business and what you do here. And yeah.
Yeah, so hi, my name is Clara, and I'm with the business for just over 10 years, just this past January. I'm originally from Czech Republic, but I have been living here in Ireland for the past 14 years. This summer, I think. Yeah, no, I live here in just close to the center. I have two kids. I have a boy, 5 years old, and 3-year-old girl who's the more difficult one. I also have a little Yorkie, and we recently rescued a very loud, black and fat and annoying cat, but we love her. So
Amazing.
yeah, and what I do in Nash Squared, I've been through so many different roles since I joined. So when I originally joined, it was really a maternity cover. It was more like a front house, office management. And then as I was kind of moving across all the aspects of the recruitment administration, so contracts and payroll, and I was also actually for a while part of the on-site recruitment solution team in one of our major clients in Dublin. And then I went on maternity leave, and when I came back in 2020, I've moved into kind of more business slash operation role. I'm still kind of moving and trying to figure out the, day to day and everything, what's gonna be involved in the role. But it is anything from kind of helping with the HR operations, office management, recruitment, actually internal recruitment I handle as well. And I always say I'm the person, if you don't know who to ask me and I'll probably get it done. That's what I do. I just get things done.
Wow. So instead of Ask Alexa, it's Ask Clara.
That's exactly what we do in Dublin, yes.
That's amazing. Okay, good to know. I've got your email, and so it's scary. Well, thanks for that overview and the intro about yourself. So you mentioned that you're from Czech, and your recipe actually is traditional Christmas cookies. And
Yes.
I read your background about it, and it was very factual and super. I learned so much, the history. And so I'd love it if you could share it with, everybody here at Radio Day of the significance for you, and then also just the cookies as a whole.
Yeah, so I was actually thinking about it. I love different like projects. So when it came across, I was like, yeah, I'm gonna do that. And I thought for a while, I was like, what it is? We have so many different dishes, but there is none which would be like loved by everyone. There's few which are very famous, but not everyone would be like, oh yeah, that's not my thing. And I was thinking what it is that everyone in Czech Republic would know and what everyone would love. And then I was like, Christmas cookies. Like everyone loves Christmas cookies. So yeah, so I did a bit of a research on the tradition because I genuinely didn't know it was just part of my growing up. So yeah, it was dating all the way back to 14th century, blah blah blah. It's all part of the cookbook, so go guys and read it. But yeah, I think the nicest part about that is that I think it just brings families together. It involves the kids. You can get them to help you baking and the smell of vanilla and cinnamon throughout the household the coming weeks into Christmas as well. Um, and it's just like the family then sits around the table all together in this peace and quiet. that time when no one's supposed to be worrying about anything and they just enjoy that sweet little thing. And there's so many different types, so everyone gets their share, if you like chocolate, if you're like cinnamon, if you like nuts, if you like whatever, it's just there. Everyone gets to like chat about their favorites, and we exchange recipes. We say how each family does a different way. And I've also been bringing them to the office for the past few years. So, and then certain, again, everyone had a different one, different favorites. So the same thing then, just around the office table. So it's nice.
Wow. I mean, my flight is booked and ready. I'm ready to come for Christmas and have a holiday party. That sounds amazing.
Good.
Yeah. Wow. Well, thank you. And since it is radio day, I would be remiss to not ask you, what's your song? I know you've already submitted, but we'd love to make sure that it's either replayed or yeah, what's your go-to favorite song?
So I have so many, obviously,
Okay.
but
Okay.
when I was submitting the song, I was thinking of picking something Czech.
Okay.
And I realized that a lot of people in the business might just not get the meaning because obviously it's in foreign language. But in the end of the day, I thought, we could all have voice, and my voice would be from a different country. So I picked a song called Naše cesty, which means Our Paths. It's by Czech singer-songwriter Marek Stracený. And why I picked it, first of all, I love the song. It means a lot, and it also has a huge meaning behind it. It's just it tells a story of how once upon a time back when we were in deep communism, back in there, we were not free people. We were not able to leave our country. We were not able to say what we wanted. And so some people left, and while they were trying to leave the border, they were hunted down, and they were running away across the border, leaving everything behind, their work, their families, their pets, their everything, just looking for the better future somewhere, starting anew. And I think it just means so much, especially with what's going on in Europe now, that we kind of forget that this is not like a really distant past either. This
Mhm.
is something that my parents remember. So, with that in mind, I'm thinking we should all be so grateful that we don't have to do this and we are free to go where we want. And maybe we should just help the people who are not so free and help them get there. And there's a beautiful video to go with the song, which always makes me cry, so I can't think about it. But if you guys want to watch it, it has a happy ending. So let's just hope we all get that happy ending anytime soon. So yeah.
Wow, that's beautiful. Excuse me. I'm really choked up. That is like, I can hear you talking about it and the passion within it. So thank you so much for sharing. And thank you for everyone, as well as yourself, who submitted recipes as well as songs. So appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Brenna.
Right, we are joined on Nash Squared Radio by Lisa Kaiser. I'm not going to introduce her. I'll let her talk about her kind of role here at Nash Squared herself. But she is joining me. I'm in London, and she's sat across the pond in the US. So, Lisa, I believe it's the morning where you are. Is that right?
Yep, it's 9
Yeah.
a.m.
9 a.m. Right then. Good morning to you. So Lisa, thanks for taking your time and joining us on Nash Squared Radio as part of our sort of cookbook launch. Where in this hour, we'll be talking to kind of people that have sent in their recipes. So do you want to start off by just telling us what you do, how long you've been with Nash Squared, and where you're sort of, I guess, sat at the moment within the business?
Sure. So I'm Lisa Kaiser. I'm the Human Resources Director for our U.S. division. I work out of our headquarters here in New Jersey, which is about 20 minutes from New York City, depending on traffic. I support our staff and our contractors, strive to provide the best possible experience for all our new hires and all our team. And I work with our incredible contractor onboarding team, as well as our amazing payroll team. And together we support about 1,000 employees.
Wow. So that's a very large remit. And we're recording this in March. How's the year started off for you guys over in the sort of head office in New Jersey?
It's been a little bit slower than usual right now, but we're waiting for that big pickup, which I'm sure will hit very soon.
Yeah, no. Likewise, likewise. So you obviously being in the sort of HR, the people function across the group, right? You have a lot to do with the people of the business, right? You have sent in a recipe for our cookbook to sort of showcase your background, your sort of cultural dynamic. So, what is the recipe that you've sent in to us?
Sure. So I picked empanadas, and these are Colombian empanadas. So they're a little bit different than your regular one.
Okay.
And if I could start off by saying I love that Nash Squared is doing this cookbook. We learn about cultures through it, and what better way to come together than with food. Um,
Yeah.
so my mother, she immigrated from Colombia. So growing up, we spent a lot of summers going back to a city called Cali. Um, I consider myself an admitted foodie, which is kind of ironic because I would barely eat anything as a kid. I don't know why, but just once I would go back to Colombia, I'd be reintroduced to a whole new variety of just fruits and vegetables, um, even new ice cream flavors. Like it was just so great. So when I tried my first empanada, I just was obsessed. And I don't know if you've ever had one, but they're basically meat and potatoes with some spices, put a little lime, a little hot sauce on it, and they're deep fried. So, what's not good that's deep fried.
Yeah. No. I have had them, but I've had a look at the recipe. Yeah, and I don't think the ones that I've had are very good, or from someone of Colombian descent, right? So,
Oh, they
um,
are amazing. And then it's one of those things where a food just can take you back. Like I eat one of these and I'm just like instantly transported to the top of a mountain, like high above the clouds on a roadside restaurant somewhere, sitting poolside with my grandparents with Coca-Colas on a hot day. Like it's amazing how food can just take you there. So I hope you do try the recipe. I think you'll like them too.
yeah, no, I definitely will. And for anyone listening as well, do send Lisa photos or just kind of thoughts, after you've tried them. So I just want to pick that up a little bit, right? So, Colombian descent, would you say you've kind of, you're still very much in touch with your Colombian heritage, and that's something that's kind of quite important to you,
Yeah,
given
yeah,
sort of
no,
where you are in your
absolutely.
career and whatnot?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's made me who I am. Growing up here in my town, it's a very small town. It wasn't very diverse. Um, we could have been the only Hispanic family in town for all I know. So, you know, getting older and going to different cities, different countries, meeting new people, it was just amazing for me to know that there were other Colombian people even out there. Like in my little world, it was just so different.
Yeah.
But yeah, it defines who I am.
No, absolutely. And from what I know, I mean, I know sort of one Colombian person very, very closely, and what she tells me is something like empanadas. It's a very communal dish, right? It's very sort of everyone round one table, or in the kitchen, and sort of everyone eats at the same time, and the conversations that are flowing at the time, or people talking, large family gatherings, friends coming together. Would you say it's best eaten in that environment?
Oh, absolutely. And you have to have a giant cup of coffee. It's like a bowl, not a cup. It's like a bowl of coffee.
Okay, very, very good. So for anyone listening that's going to try it, just make sure we do that. And in terms of your, I guess when you sent in your recipe, right, was empanadas the number one choice when you sat there and thought, oh, what takes me back to a memory or my childhood or my background? Was empanadas the number one choice, or would you say, there was other dishes and stuff, but this is the reason, and this is the one dish that takes you back?
Oh yeah, no, the most definitely that's the one. And at the end of every summer, my family, it's like become a tradition where we know that at the end of the summer we're going to make a whole bunch of those, and we all just kind of huddle around the deep fryer and
Yeah.
run your mouth and you're trying to eat them.
No, I get that. So here's a question: when's the last time you made some?
Um, let's see. the end of last summer.
Yeah, no, last summer. Okay. Well, we need the summer to come quickly, so we can get you making those again. And then very finally, as it is Nash Squared Radio Day, we have had song requests, we've had quizzes, games, sort of all day going on for our colleagues and people to join in. I know that you've requested a song. What is that song and who's the artist? Tell me about it.
Well, this one was a tough one for me because I like so many different types of music. So I was thinking, since you're in London and I'm in the US, why don't we do Elton John and Britney Spears? Pull Me Closer. It's a little of both countries.
Like that. Okay, but little bit of best of both, and that definitely takes me back to my childhood as well. Kind of listen to that song, but yeah, no, I really appreciate your time, Lisa. Thanks for coming on. And for anyone that's listening, look forward to kind of seeing when we launch our cookbook. Lisa's recipes. We also have a recipe from our CEO, Bev, as well, and a whole host of other people in the business to celebrate our diversity and our culture that we have within the group. So, yeah, Lisa, thank you very much for your time.
Okay, thank you. Take care.
Right. So, we've heard from two of our colleagues.
So great, weren't they?
Very, very good. And
So good.
do you know when I listen to people's stories, right, and I listen to their backgrounds, I mean, you kind of, I was having this conversation with someone earlier on, and I was like, you kind of forget when you come in every day and you log in with your Harvey Nash or Spinks or Crimson or Nash Tech, logins. Talent IT, yeah, Noldus, whatever.
Yep.
When you log in, you almost forget that you're part of a global team, a global business. And I've definitely been guilty of that, right? And to an essence where sometimes when you had a bad day, you just kind of think, oh God, I'm struggling, things are down, whatever. But we're very, very lucky in this business that people are only ever a Teams call away or an email or a message. And the impact and the stories that people have, I mean, what like Lisa and Clara were both talking about, I mean, it's great, right?
Yeah.
And
we're completely, just to echo, I mean, we're just completely lucky that one, the business recognizes that people are one of our biggest or the biggest asset that we have, and that, we empower the people with, giving spotlights like this. And it's just hearing their stories just echoes it over and over and over, and it's really powerful.
Yeah, exactly. And also, I think a big shout out as well to some of the sort of people that aren't or won't necessarily get recognized on screen or on radio for this, but our people team that we've got at Nash Squared that have been running around, organizing,
Yeah.
So
I don't know where my life would be without them.
No, exactly. So Maura Sabat, Megan Johnson, Michelle Thomas from marketing that's helped us as well, Rob Grimsey, our
Mel
chief,
as well. She's
our
been in
chief
there.
people officer. I'm giving her her own slot here. I'm giving her her own slot.
Okay.
So our CPO, Melanie Hayes, again, for just backing this idea and the business, and also we can't forget Bev, right? The CEO. We're very lucky in a business where Bev's also got a recipe in the cookbook, by the way.
She does, yes.
She does, yeah. So if anyone wants to be like Bev, start cooking like Bev.
Yes.
So, we're just so lucky. Like, it was only last week where I was in a kickoff, and you can just walk up to our CEO, have a conversation, and just talk about not even work. And she treats you as a person, as a human being. And
yeah, it's true.
And I think, so this cookbook is definitely a snapshot of our people. I also need to add, it will be available online. Am I right, Brenna?
Yes, it'll be available online, as well as we're getting some limited edition printed pieces to have in the office for people.
Very good.
It's exciting.
And I think, I mean,
I've already got people pre-ordering, even though they're not to order. Yes.
Oh, baby.
Yes.
This could be an Amazon bestseller at some point, but
Yeah.
who knows?
Our US sales team was like, we want them.
Oh God, might start a bidding process here. Actually,
I mean, could be
that
great.
That could be good. But also, if you do want to get in touch with us about anything Diversity and Inclusion Council or anything
Want
to
to
join,
one of the ERG groups? Let us know.
how do they do that, Brenna? Give me some.
They
give me
can
some
reach out to
details.
one of us.
Yeah.
Brenna.Barnett@harveynashusa.com.
Lovely.
That's my email.
And mine's
just look at it.
akish.koga@harveynash.com. I wish we were on YouTube. I could go click here or
Yeah,
you know,
subscribe
here. I could actually be a YouTuber, but I'm actually a recruiter. But anyway,
you can do anything, Akish. Anything and everything.
Thank you. But look, I mean, hopefully you've enjoyed this. The song requests as well, and the songs that our colleagues sort of requested. It's been great. And like I said, who knows next year? I mean, Cookbook now. What's next for us? We might be back next year with something else.
Who knows? Someone from this team will probably see this, and this is an inspiration, and then we're doing something crazy. Who knows?
There we go.
But it's
and also,
just how it goes. All ideas are welcome and wanted.
Exactly that. And I think the biggest thing is, we want to make sure that everyone is celebrated, regardless of our backgrounds, our heritage, our sexual orientation, the color of our skin, our religious beliefs. Everyone in this organization is celebrated, and we also have an onus to educate our organization as well. And that goes from the CEO all the way down, right? So we're very lucky, and we want to thank all the listeners. Shout out to my listeners, I mean, I don't know how many people are listening, but fingers crossed.
Listening, Akish.
I hope so. I have told my whole team to listen. But yeah, so shout out to everyone who's listening, and enjoy the rest of the day. And
nice. I'd like to shout out the ERG group, all of the D&I Council ERGs, but our group, we work with them on a regular basis, and they're all just absolutely amazing. So special shout out.
And all in different locations. So I don't know
all in different locations.
I don't know how this time slot. I mean, I don't know how this time slot will be hitting their locations, but
it'll probably be pretty early.
Yeah. Pretty early
for
at
at least
some
the
of
US, for Kenya.
For US. For Kenya, you ramen as well.
Yeah, ramen too.
Yeah, and then my kind of UK folk. So I appreciate it, man. So it's been good. Shout out to everyone. But thank you very much for your time.
Thank you so much. Have a great radio day.